Hi guys, I'm Mary, and today I'll be talking about the region view. And as you can see, your empire is the one with the flags. All your cities have flags. A group of cities like this is called a cluster. And if you have cities on some other continent as well, you have two clusters. Or if you move it, if you have another group of cities to the west of the continent or whatever. So I have here one cluster. And I will show you one other thing. If you look at my cities, they are right here. And if we'll scroll down over here, you can see that move I just did wasn't that far, was it? So I'll just show you one thing. I'll go to the world view. So here was where I clicked, and there is my empire, which means that it's actually further away than what you think. This means, I'll go back. This means that you should build your cluster and your empire as close together as possible, because the further away you are, the longer you have to travel with your resources when you, if for example this one needs resources from, let's say this one, it will take such a long time if that one will be over to the west side, for example. So the closer you get your cities, the better it is. So remember that. Next I will show you where to place a food city. And a food city always needs to be where there's a lot of water to get the lakes, because you will need it, and it gives you the most amount of food. And water is always available by rivers like this, and by the sea. And remember that, for example, this city is next by the sea, even though it doesn't look like it, I think. But because it's no place here, you can't click here. It is the one spot right next to the sea. I learned this the hard way, so I'm telling you that this is the easy way now. So remember that, so you don't make any mistakes if you don't want any sea or water in your city. So we'll place a food city. So we'll click on a spot, and we'll get down this list to check in this area. This is a very good wood city, as you can see, because there's 20 extra nodes. These are called nodes. The more nodes there is here, the better it is, of course. And 20 is pretty good. 24 is even better, and the higher it gets, the better it is, of course. For lakes, 5 is quite low. You would want maybe 7, 8 is really good. So 7, 8. So this is a very good wood city, as you can see. But we'll check for a food city, like here. This is a very good food city because it has 8 lakes, which is quite much. And also, it doesn't have much of the other kinds of resources. And food, farms take up a lot of place in your city. It takes up a lot of place, and therefore you don't want any extra resources to take that place, so you have to demolish them, and that takes time, and it's just a waste of time, really. So as less of the other resources as possible is great, because you would prefer to not mix your city with food and some other kind of resources, because you get more food out if you get a city and only make it food and concentrate on that. So we'll continue on to the military buildings. The military buildings don't need any kind of rest. Well, it depends on if you have a kind of troop that needs a lot of food and you don't have any ministers. It would be good that if you have some farms in that city. So this one was this spot would be quite good because it has 8 lakes and it has no other resources, so you can place the military buildings there instead. Let's see. This would work too because stone 12 nodes in stone is really bad. 6 lakes is quite bad as well. So there's not a lot of resources nodes in the city. So a military building would work here too. But I would definitely recommend ministers. If you have ministers, you don't need to have food in your military cities, and you could focus on only the military buildings in your cities, which is much better because if you have ministers, you can send the resources over from one city to another way better and faster and easier. And you can focus more on the military and get a stronger troop. And let's see. Well, I'll show you one spot. Like here. This is quite a bad spot because there's only 12 stone, 12 iron, 4 lakes. It's not such a good spot, is it? And if that would have been 20 and that would have been 20, it would have been a splendid city for stone and iron. But now it's not good at all. And remember that these numbers are only extras. You will get a certain amount of resources nodes already in your city, whichever place you get on the map. You will always get some kind, maybe 6 of these, etc. But these are the extra nodes. So yeah. And and remember that, well, let's see, like this place, if I would have been this player that is over here, this spot would have been quite bad because as you can see, it doesn't produce a lot. It doesn't have any much extra nodes. But if you really need wood, for example, this spot would have been way better for this player than to have a good spot over here, because it is longer travel time. It takes a long time. It's a pain, really. So it would actually be better if he would take this spot instead. So it depends on the location as well. This is better for him because it's closer, but of course this one is to prefer because he has 20 and that other had a really bad number. And the next thing I'll show you is the lawless city. Here is the lawless city with a castle. If you want to take this city, you should send a scout there to see what this city contains. If it contains any troops, if it contains just a mess of buildings or such, so you will know if it's even worth to take or not. And also that also is the same to enemies. If you want to plunder them or attack them, you should send a scout before you do that, also called spanare in Swedish. So you will know what kind of troop strength that enemy has, what he produces, and all of that. Because of course you would like to know as much as possible about your enemy before you attack them, so you don't get killed yourself. This little symbol you might already know. It means that the troops I've sent is returning back to my city. So right now I can't send more to this because they are returning back. They have to get back to my city before I can send them back again. Now I'll talk about this shrine. As you may know, to win this game, to win loot, you have to have 8 palaces at level 10, and to get a palace, your city has to be enlightened, or upplyst as it is called in Swedish, and that will happen if you have your city close to a shrine like this player has, and then when you get stronger and stronger and your city builds up more, like this one, or even now actually, but still, anyway, your city can be enlightened, and when it is, it will definitely show for in your city, so you will know for sure that it is enlightened, and also you will be able to build a palace. Not everyone in an alliance can build a palace, because everyone has a role to play and not everyone can, but the one who does make a palace is the one who should go for it. And then if one city is enlightened and that member and player has decided to make a palace, it is up to the alliance to send as much wood and stone as possible to that city, because it takes a lot of resources to create a palace and upgrade it, because you can only upgrade a palace when it is enlightened as well. And for to go back to when you attack a boss, or these kind of grottor, as it is called in Swedish, you will it's very very good for you if you have something called tooltip tweak installed, because if you have your mouse over one of these, it will show how many berserks you have to send to be able to get something out of it, to get resources and to get a good report. And this one requires 3,500, as you can see, and it's framsteg, as it is called there. It's 20%, so it's not over yet. When it reaches 100%, it means that this one will close and go away, so you can't send it to it anymore. But 20% is a lot to go, so you don't have to worry that it will end while you're there or something like that. So I would definitely recommend to download tooltip tweak, install it, because it is so much easier to know exactly how many circs you have to send, because it varies on the level and also how much further that has gone. This one is only 20%, but when it is 90%, you have to send more circs. So it is a very, very good tool to use, and you can find it in the forum. It's called, as I said, Lu Tooltip Tweak. So install that. And that was all for me this time. I hope you learned something today. And remember, as I always say to you, that please ask if you have any questions whatsoever. I will be here. The officers are always here, and well, I am here always as well, of course. And Raja is here always too. So ask if there's anything and you'd like to know, or if you need help with anything. We are here for you. And remember that it is in-game and in real life issues. We are here for each other, and we are a team, a family. And remember that, and I hope you enjoy this. See you in-game. Bye.